Everyone saw him fall, the fastest creature on the open plains, the one no predator could catch, lying motionless in the dust. His chest rose, then fell. Slow, uneven. One leg bent at an angle it should never bend. The ground beneath him darkened with blood. Animals passed by, some slowed, some looked. Then they kept moving. Because in the wild, speed is life, and once speed is gone, so is mercy. The sun climbed higher. The heat pressed down. Vultures appeared in the sky, circling quietly, patiently. The cheetah tried to stand. His body betrayed him. He collapsed again, breath tearing from his throat. No cry, no call for help, just silence. By nightfall, he would be gone. That was the rule of the plains, and everyone accepted it. Everyone, except one. From the tall grass at the edge of the land, a shadow stopped moving. Golden eyes watched the broken cheetah, a lioness. She was not hungry, she was not rushing. She stood there longer than she should have. In the wild, this should have ended quickly. But instead of attacking, she did something no one expected. She sat down beside him. And in that moment, fate changed direction. Before that day, the cheetah had never known stillness. Stillness was danger. Stillness meant hunger. Stillness meant being seen. His life was motion. Each morning, before the sun fully rose, he would lift his head from the grass and listen. The plains spoke softly at that hour. Insects hummed. Distant birds called. The wind carried the scent of prey. And predators. Only when he was sure the land was calm did he stand. He stretched slowly, deliberately, lengthening his back, testing each limb. Every muscle mattered. Every step mattered. Because the cheetah lived alone. No pride watched his back. No pack shared his risks. Other hunters had strength in numbers. He had only speed. And speed was fragile. From a young age, he learned what the plains demanded of him. Run only when necessary. Choose prey carefully. Never chase blindly. A cheetah who wasted energy did not survive long. He watched other animals make mistakes. Young predators who rushed. Old hunters who pushed too hard. Injuries that turned confidence into hunger, and hunger into death. He remembered those lessons. When the grass rustled, he froze. When shadows shifted, he waited. Patience was his quiet advantage. He did not roar like the lions. He did not growl warnings. His power was invisible. A low body, focused eyes, breath controlled. When he ran, it was never for show. Only necessity. Only survival. The plains respected him for that. Gazelles lifted their heads when he appeared. Zebras shifted uneasily. Even larger predators gave him space. Not out of fear, but understanding. A cheetah did not fight. He did not steal. He took only what he earned. If a hunt failed, he stopped. He did not push. He had learned early that chasing too long meant overheating, and overheating meant collapse. So he would slow. Pant. Lie in the shade. Hunger hurt. But injury killed. That discipline kept him alive. Day after day, season after season. He survived droughts. He survived storms. He survived losses unseen. Because cheetahs lose often. Cubs taken by lions. Kills stolen by hyenas. Hard-earned meals disappearing in moments. He accepted it. The plains were unfair, but they were honest. Still, there were days hunger stayed longer than usual. Days when the land offered little. Days when the air felt heavy with need. That morning was one of those days. The sun rose pale behind thin clouds. The grass shimmered with dew. He had not eaten well the day before. His body felt lighter than it should have. His ribs pressed closer to his skin. When he smelled the gazelle, his instincts sharpened. Young, fast, healthy. Normally he would wait. Normally he would observe longer. But hunger whispers, and sometimes it lies. He lowered himself into the grass. Heart steady, breath controlled. The world narrowed to distance and timing. The gazelle lifted its head. This was the moment. Muscles coiled, and the cheetah ran. The cheetah exploded from the grass. For a moment, the plains forgot how to breathe. The world blurred around him as his legs struck the earth in perfect rhythm. Each step landed where it should. Each breath pulled in sharp, burning air. The gazelle ran. Hooves thundered against the ground. Dust lifted behind it like smoke. The distance closed. This was what the cheetah was made for. His body stretched to its limit, spine flexing, tail cutting through the air to keep balance. The sound of his own heartbeat filled his ears. Closer, closer. The gazelle zigzagged suddenly, desperate. The cheetah adjusted instinctively, leaning into the turn. That was when the ground betrayed him. A shallow dip hidden by grass. A jagged stone half buried in dirt. His front paw struck wrong. There was no warning. No time to correct. A sharp crack echoed through his leg. Not loud, but final. Pain shot through him like fire. His stride broke. Speed vanished in an instant. His body, still moving too fast, could not save itself. He tumbled forward. The world spun. Sky, dust, grass. His shoulder slammed the ground. His side followed. He rolled once, twice, then stopped. Silence rushed in. The gazelle disappeared into the distance, its hooves fading until there was nothing left but wind. The cheetah lay still. For a moment, he did not understand what had happened. Pain arrived slowly. It crept through his leg, up his spine into his chest. He tried to rise. His muscles responded, but his leg did not. It folded beneath him. He collapsed again, a low breath tearing from his throat. The world seemed too bright, too open. Instinct screamed at him to move, to run, to hide. He pushed himself up once more, dragging his injured leg. Another step, then another. The pain exploded. His vision blurred. His body shook violently. And then he fell again. This time he did not try to stand. He lay on his side, breathing hard, dust clinging to his coat. The sun climbed higher, heat pressed down, his mouth opened slightly, tongue dry, breaths coming faster now. The plains had changed. The same land that once gave him freedom now offered no shelter. Every sound felt louder. A bird calling overhead, insects buzzing close to his ears. Each noise reminded him that he was exposed, that he was vulnerable. A shadow passed above him. He lifted his head weakly. Vultures. They circled high at first. Patient. They always were. They knew the signs. An animal not moving. An animal not running. Time passed strangely after that. Minutes stretched into something heavier. His leg throbbed relentlessly. Each heartbeat sent pain through his body. He tried to curl his tail around himself, a small, unconscious attempt at comfort. But even that hurt. The ground beneath him grew warmer. Sweat darkened the soil around his body. He closed his eyes, not to sleep, but because keeping them open was too much. In the distance, other animals moved. He heard them. He smelled them, but none came closer. Predators avoided him for now. He was not worth the effort yet. Prey avoided him because instinct told them to. An injured hunter was still a hunter. The cheetah understood something then, something he had never truly faced before. Speed had always saved him. Distance had always protected him. But now, there was nowhere to go. He lay alone on the open plains, the fastest animal in the world, unable to move, and the day was far from over.
The sun kept moving. It did not pause. It did not care. It climbed higher into the sky, pouring heat onto the open plains where the cheetah lay exposed. The grass around him barely stirred. No shade, no cover, no escape. His breathing grew heavier. Each breath felt like effort now, as if the air itself had weight. His injured leg throbbed relentlessly. Not sharp anymore. Deep, endless. Pain that did not scream, but refused to leave. He shifted slightly, trying to pull himself closer to the ground, to make himself smaller. But even the smallest movement sent fire through his body. so he stopped trying. Time stretched, the kind of time that makes thoughts louder. He watched clouds drift slowly overhead, their shapes changing, their shadows passing without stopping. He listened to the plains live without him. Birds called, insects buzzed. Far away, something large moved through the grass. Life continued, just not for him. A group of antelope passed at a distance. They slowed, lifted their heads. Their eyes met his. For a moment, the cheetah thought, foolishly, that they might stay. They did not. One by one, they turned away, moving faster now, keeping space between themselves and the fallen hunter. Even injured, he was still dangerous. Even broken, he was still alone. Hours passed. The heat became unbearable. His mouth opened slightly as he panted, tongue dry, saliva thick. Hunger gnawed quietly in his stomach, a familiar pain made crueler by helplessness. Normally, hunger meant movement. Now, hunger meant waiting. A shadow crossed his body again, lower this time. He opened one eye. Vultures. They circled lazily, wide wings barely moving, patient in the way only scavengers are. They did not land, not yet. They knew better. They waited for certainty. The cheetah forced himself to lift his head, baring his teeth weakly, a silent warning. The vultures drifted higher. They had time. So did the plains. As afternoon stretched toward evening, the light softened. Long shadows crept across the ground. With the fading heat came something worse. Cold. His body trembled slightly. Without movement, without running, his muscles began to stiffen. The injury pulled at him, tightening, swelling. He shifted his tail again, curling it around his body, trying to hold what little warmth he had left. This was when others noticed him. Not prey, not birds, other cheetahs. They moved quietly, their bodies low, their eyes alert. Two passed within sight. They slowed, stopped. They looked at him. For a long moment, the cheetah felt something stir inside him. Hope. They were his kind. They understood speed. They understood hunger. They understood loss. Surely, they would help. But cheetahs do not help the fallen. They survive. One stepped closer, sniffing the air. The other stayed back. Their eyes told the story before their bodies did. An injured cheetah was a risk, a drain, a future problem. They exchanged no sound, no signal. They simply turned away. Their bodies melted back into the grass, leaving no trace they had ever been there. The cheetah lowered his head. Something inside him sank quietly. Not panic, not fear, acceptance. The plains had decided. As the sun touched the horizon, the air changed. Sounds carried farther now. A distant laugh. Sharp. Hyenas. They were closer tonight. The cheetah's breathing quickened. He tried to gather his strength, tried to prepare, but preparation required movement, and movement was gone. Darkness crept in slowly, bringing with it shapes that moved just beyond clear sight. Eyes glinted in the distance, then vanished. He knew this part of the night. The waiting. Predators tested the edges. They watched, measured. An injured cheetah was not dangerous, but he was still unpredictable. That made him inconvenient. For now, he lay very still, not sleeping, just listening. His thoughts drifted. Not memories exactly, but sensations. The feeling of wind rushing past his face, the rhythm of his stride at full speed, the moment when the world narrowed to nothing but motion. Those things felt far away now, like a life that belonged to someone else. The cold deepened. His breaths grew slower. Each one required intention. He wondered, not consciously, but somewhere deep, if this was how it ended. Not with teeth, not with a fight, but with silence, with being forgotten while still alive. The plains grew quieter as night settled fully. Even the vultures were gone. The stars emerged one by one, bright and indifferent. The cheetah closed his eyes, not to sleep, just to rest them, just for a moment, because keeping them open meant watching the world move on without him, and that hurt more than the injury ever could. The night deepened. The plains no longer felt empty. They felt watchful. Every sound carried farther now. Every movement mattered. The cheetah lay still, his body pressed against the cooling ground, breathing shallow, measured breaths. Then the wind changed. It came from the west. With it, a scent he knew better than fear. Lion. His eyes opened slowly, not wide, not panicked, just enough to see. At first, there was nothing, only darkness, only grass shifting gently. Then a shape moved, low, heavy, silent. She stepped into the faint starlight without urgency, her body powerful even at rest, muscles rolling beneath her coat with each controlled step. A lioness, not young, not old, experienced. She had not come running. She had not come chasing. She had come because she had time. The cheetah's body tensed instinctively, though he could not rise. Every lesson he had ever learned told him the same thing. This is where it ends. Lions did not miss opportunities like this. She stopped several body lengths away, watched. Her eyes reflected the stars, steady, unreadable. She did not rush. She circled him slowly, her paws sinking softly into the earth, tail flicking once, then still. The cheetah bared his teeth weakly, a reflex more than a threat. His body trembled, not from fear alone, but from the effort of staying alert. The lioness paused near his injured leg. She could smell the blood, the swelling, the weakness. One strike would be enough, one bite. The plains seemed to hold their breath, but she did not attack. Instead, she sat down, right there in the open. The cheetah blinked once, uncertain if pain was clouding his senses. Lions did not sit beside prey. They finished it. She lowered herself fully now, front paws crossed, her body angled slightly away from him. Not hunting posture, not defensive. Waiting. Minutes passed. The cheetah's breathing remained shallow, but something inside him shifted. Confusion crept in where panic had lived. The lioness lifted her head suddenly. A sound echoed from the darkness. Laughter. Hyenas. Closer now. Several. The cheetah felt his chest tighten. This was worse. Hyenas did not kill quickly. They tested. They tore. The lioness rose in one smooth motion. Her body grew larger as she stepped forward, placing herself between the cheetah and the sound. She did not roar. She did not charge. She simply stood. When the hyenas came closer, shadows darting just beyond the grass, she let out a low, warning growl. It rolled across the plains, deep and steady. The hyenas stopped. They knew that sound. They laughed once more, nervous now, and backed away. The lioness did not pursue. She returned to her place beside the cheetah and lay down again. Guarding. The cheetah's eyes stayed on her. He did not understand. Lions were rivals, kill stealers, cub killers. They were not protectors, especially not of cheetahs. Yet she remained. Night passed slowly. The cold deepened. The cheetah shivered. His muscles ached from stillness. At some point, exhaustion overcame vigilance. His eyelids grew heavy. Every instinct screamed against it. Sleeping near a lion meant death, but his body had nothing left. His breathing slowed, and for the first time since the fall, he slept. Not deeply, not peacefully, but enough. Enough to keep him alive. The lioness did not move. When distant predators called, she lifted her head. When something passed too close, she rose and stared it down. She did not leave. As the first light of dawn crept over the plains, painting the sky pale gold, the cheetah woke again. The pain was still there, the hunger still there, but something else had joined them. Safety. Temporary. Fragile. But real. The lioness stood once more, stretching her powerful frame. She looked down at the cheetah. Their eyes met briefly. There was no warmth there, no affection, just awareness. Then she turned, walked a few steps away, and stopped. She did not disappear into the grass. She stayed within sight, as if to say, "You are not alone today." And on the open plains, where mercy had no reason to exist, it had just chosen him.
Morning came quietly. The plains woke the way they always did, slowly, without concern for what had happened during the night. Light spilled across the grass. Birds began calling. The cold retreated. The cheetah lay exactly where he had fallen. Pain greeted him before thought did. His injured leg burned dully now, swollen, stiff, heavy. He tried to move it. The pain answered immediately. He stopped. Then he remembered. The lioness. He lifted his head. She was still there, standing a short distance away, facing outward toward the open plains. Not resting, watching. The cheetah's heart beat faster. Daylight changed everything. At night, protection could be temporary. In daylight, it was visible. And visibility in the wild was dangerous. Other predators would see her. Other lions would smell her presence. This was not her territory. Guarding him here meant risk. She could leave now. No one would blame her. The night was over. He had survived longer than expected. The plains would understand if she walked away. But she did not. Instead, she moved closer. Slowly. Deliberately. She stopped beside him again. Closer than before. Close enough that he could hear her breathing. Steady. Controlled. She lowered herself to the ground, placing her body between him and the open land. Openly. In full daylight. This was the moment. The unspoken decision. She was not hiding him. She was not waiting. She was declaring something. A challenge. The cheetah felt it before he understood it. This was no longer mercy given in secret. This was protection. Hyenas appeared first, 2 of them slipping through the grass, drawn by the smell of blood and weakness. They stopped when they saw her. A lioness, fully awake, fully alert, guarding an injured cheetah. The sight made them hesitate. They circled at a distance, laughing softly, testing. The lioness rose to her full height. She did not chase. She did not roar. She simply stood still. Her presence was enough. The hyenas backed away, their laughter fading into the distance. The cheetah watched it all in silence. He had never been defended before. Not like this. As the sun climbed higher, more eyes noticed. Vultures returned to the sky, circling wide. Other predators passed along the horizon. None came close. The lioness remained. She did not hunt far. When she moved, it was only to reposition herself, always keeping the cheetah behind her. When the heat grew strong, she guided him, slowly, carefully, toward a patch of shade by standing where he could lean. She did not touch him. She did not rush him. She waited. Every movement said the same thing. You will not be taken today. Time passed. Hours. The cheetah's strength faded and returned in small waves. He drank dew from the grass when he could reach it. He rested when pain demanded it. The lioness kept watch. At one point, distant roars echoed across the plains. Another pried. Her ears turned sharply. This was the real danger. Lions did not tolerate outsiders. They especially did not tolerate interference. Guarding a cheetah, a rival hunter, was not just strange. It was dangerous. She stood taller now, eyes scanning the horizon. The cheetah held its breath. If the pride came closer, she would have to choose, leave him or fight. The sounds faded. The plains quieted again. The lioness relaxed slightly. She remained. That was when the cheetah understood. This was no accident. She was not confused. She was not hesitant. She had decided, whatever the cost, she would stay. And for the first time since his fall, the cheetah felt something unfamiliar settle into his chest. Not hope, not yet, but trust. In the wild, trust was more dangerous than hunger. Yet here it was, standing guard in the open sun, choosing him when no rule demanded it. And the plains watched, silent and stunned, as mercy became something stronger. Commitment. The first day passed slowly. Too slowly. The cheetah did not move much. His body resisted even the smallest effort, as if reminding him that healing was not something that could be rushed. Pain came in waves now, not sharp like before, but deep, heavy, exhausting. The lioness stayed. She stood watch through the long afternoon, her shadow stretching across the grass as the sun moved. When the cheetah shifted, she adjusted her position. When he rested, she rested lightly, never fully asleep. That night, the cold returned. The cheetah trembled. His body no longer held warmth well. Without running, without movement, his muscles stiffened further. The lioness noticed. She moved closer than before, lying near enough that her body blocked the wind. She did not touch him. But the difference was immediate. The cheetah's trembling slowed. The stars crossed the sky again. Another night survived. Morning came. The cheetah tested his leg carefully, just a little. Pain answered, but this time it did not overwhelm him. He shifted again, still painful, still weak, but possible. The lioness watched closely. When he tried to stand, she did not interfere. He rose halfway, then collapsed. Dust puffed beneath him. His breath came fast, embarrassed, strained. He lay still afterward, waiting for the pain to settle. The lioness did not move away. She simply sat, facing outward, as if failure did not matter, as if the attempt itself was enough. That day, danger returned. A lone hyena crept close at midday, drawn by the scent that refused to fade. It circled wide, laughing softly. The lioness rose immediately. She stepped forward with confidence, head high, tail steady. The hyena hesitated. It knew her strength, but it also knew hunger. It darted forward suddenly. The lioness lunged, not far, just enough. Dust exploded beneath her paws. The hyena skidded to a stop, then turned and fled. The cheetah watched, heart racing. Each threat reminded him how fragile his life still was. Each time she drove them away, the truth settled deeper. She was choosing him again, and again. As the days passed, the plains changed around them. Clouds gathered, then dispersed. Heat came and went. Life moved on. The cheetah's body followed slowly. On the third day, he stood, fully, not for long, not without pain, but long enough to feel gravity beneath his paws again. He leaned heavily on his good leg, breathing hard. The lioness stepped closer, not to help, but to block the open side of the plains. A shield. When he fell again, he did not despair. He had stood. That was enough for today. Hunger became a new challenge. The lioness hunted nearby now, never far enough to lose sight of him. She brought down prey once, feeding quickly. She did not share. Lions did not share. But she dragged scraps closer afterward, not toward him, just closer than before, close enough that scavengers would stay away. close enough that the scent of food reminded him why he needed to heal. On the 5th day, rain came, soft at first, then steady. The cheetah struggled to stay warm. His fur darkened with water. The ground softened beneath him. The lioness positioned herself again, blocking the wind, standing unmoving as rain soaked her coat. Hours passed. She did not leave. When the rain finally stopped, the cheetah slept deeply for the first time, not from exhaustion, but from safety. By the 7th day, the swelling had reduced. The cheetah could place his injured paw on the ground without immediate collapse. Pain still lived there, but so did strength. He began to move short distances, dragging slightly, careful, cautious. Each step was watched, each movement guarded. Predators still tested them. Once a pair of lions approached the territory line. The lioness stiffened. This time she did roar. Low. Warning. The sound carried. The other lions paused, assessed, then turned away. She did not chase. She returned to her place beside the cheetah, her breathing slow, controlled. That night, the cheetah stood again. Longer this time. He took 3 steps, then 5, then 10. His legs shook, his breath tore from his chest, but he did not fall. The lioness watched, still, silent. He turned his head toward her. Not gratitude, not dependence, recognition. She had given him time. Time was everything. On the 9th day, he moved into a slow trot. Not fast, never fast, just enough to remind his body who it once was. The lioness did not follow. She stood where she always had, at the edge of his danger, at the edge of his future. The plains had stopped waiting for him to die. They were watching him return, and every step he took was guarded by a decision made days ago, by a lioness who had chosen protection when the world expected indifference. The morning felt different, not louder, not brighter, just lighter. The cheetah woke before the sun fully rose, the way he used to, not from pain, but from instinct. The air was cool, the grass damp with dew. For a moment, he stayed still. He listened. The plains breathed around him, soft, steady, alive. Pain was still there. It had not vanished, but it no longer ruled him. He shifted his weight carefully. The injured leg answered, slowly, cautiously, but it held. The lioness was nearby, standing where she always stood, watching the horizon. She did not look at him. She did not need to. He gathered himself. This was not hunger. This was not panic. This was something else. Memory. He took a step forward, then another. Each movement sent a quiet warning through his body, but it did not stop him. He reached a small open stretch of land, flat and clear, the kind he once favored. The cheetah stopped. His chest rose and fell. This was the moment that mattered. If he failed now, if the leg gave way, there would be no second chances. The plains did not forgive twice. He lowered his body instinctively, muscles tightening, tail extending behind him for balance. The position felt familiar, comforting, dangerous. The lioness turned her head then. She watched, not tense, not alarmed, just aware. The cheetah hesitated. A single heartbeat stretched longer than it should have. Then he moved. At first, it was barely a run, more like a determined stride. His legs pushed against the earth, testing, listening, adjusting. Pain flared briefly, sharp enough to remind him of the cost. He slowed, did not stop. The ground passed beneath him. The air brushed against his face. Something inside him shifted. Confidence, fragile, careful, returned. He lengthened his stride slightly. Not fast, never fast, but faster than walking. The injured leg held. No collapse, no sharp failure, just motion. He ran across the open patch and slowed on the other side, breathing hard, heart pounding. He stopped, stood, still standing. The planes did not react. No cheers, no sound. They never did. But something changed all the same. The cheetah turned slowly, looked back toward where he had started, toward the lioness. She had not moved. She simply stood there, eyes on him. This time, there was something different in her posture. Not tension, release, as if she had been waiting for this moment to let go of something she had been carrying. The cheetah rested. That first run had taken more from him than he expected. He lay down in the grass, chest rising and falling rapidly. The lioness did not approach. She stayed where she was, giving space, giving him ownership of what he had done. Later that day, he tried again. This time, he ran farther. Still cautious, still measured, but smoother. His body remembered. Not everything, but enough. The next morning, he ran again. The pain dulled more quickly now. The stiffness faded sooner. Each run stitched confidence back into his muscles. The lioness began to change her behavior. She stood farther away, not guarding as closely, not positioning herself between him and danger as often. She trusted the plains again. And slowly, the plains trusted him. A gazelle lifted its head one morning, watching him with alert eyes. The cheetah did not chase. Not yet. He wasn't ready. But the moment mattered. He was being seen as a hunter again, not as a body waiting to be claimed. Days passed. His runs lengthened. Speed returned in pieces. Never reckless, never desperate. He listened to his body the way he always had. That discipline, the one that had once saved him, guided him again. One evening, as the sun dipped low and shadows stretched long, the cheetah ran farther than before. Not a sprint, but a run that felt right. The wind rushed past his face. The ground flowed beneath him. His tail adjusted instinctively. Balance returned. When he slowed and stopped, something inside him settled. He had crossed the line, from survivor to hunter. He looked around. The lioness was no longer nearby. She stood at a distance now, far enough that he had to search for her. When their eyes met, they held for a moment. Then she turned away. Not abruptly, not coldly, purposefully. The cheetah understood. This was the turning point. She had given him what he needed: protection, time, space. Now the rest was his. The plains accepted the change quietly. They always did. And as the cheetah lay down that night, stronger, steadier, alive, he knew something without thinking it aloud. The fastest animal in the world had learned something speed alone could never teach. Sometimes, survival begins when someone else chooses to stand still for you. The plains returned to their rhythm. Days passed without incident. The cheetah hunted again, carefully, deliberately. Not every chase ended in success, but some did. Enough. Strength returned slowly, stitched together by patience and memory. He kept his distance from danger. He avoided unnecessary risks. Speed was still precious, and the leg, though healed, never fully forgot the pain. One evening, as the sun lowered itself toward the horizon, the cheetah moved toward familiar ground, a stretch of land where tall grass met open space. He stopped suddenly. A scent carried on the breeze. Lion. He did not flee. He did not tense. Instead, he followed it. Slowly, cautiously. The grass parted ahead. She stood there, the lioness, alone, not hunting, not resting, watching the land she knew so well. She had changed, not visibly, but in presence. Her posture was looser now. Her attention divided between the plains and the sky above. She sensed him before she saw him. Her head turned. Their eyes met. They stood still. No fear, no challenge, just awareness. The cheetah felt something tighten in his chest. Not pain, not hunger. Recognition. He had seen her only as a guardian before. Now he saw her as an equal, a hunter who had chosen mercy when the world demanded efficiency. They did not approach. Distance mattered. Respect lived in that space. The wind moved through the grass between them, carrying scents of earth and life. The cheetah lowered his head slightly. Not submission, but acknowledgement. The lioness flicked her tail once. That was all. No sound passed between them. None was needed. After a long moment, the lioness turned away. She walked back toward her territory, her steps unhurried, confident. She did not look back. The cheetah watched her until she disappeared into the tall grass. Then he turned in the opposite direction. The plains accepted this ending quietly. They always did. Some bonds were not meant to last. Some existed only long enough to change a life. As the sun sank below the horizon, the cheetah moved forward. Strong, steady, alive. Behind him, the place where he had nearly died returned to silence. But the mark of what had happened there remained. Not in the land. In him. The plains did not remember the moment. They never do. The grass grew back. The dust settled. The wind moved on. If someone had passed through that place later, they would have seen nothing unusual. No sign of the fall. No trace of the waiting. No mark of the nights when death came close and quietly stepped away. But some stories are not written on the land. They are written in the ones who survive. The cheetah returned to his life. He ran again. Not recklessly, not blindly, but with awareness. Each stride carried memory, not of pain, but of stillness. He hunted when the time was right. He rested when the body asked. He learned to listen more closely, to the ground, to the wind, to himself. Speed had once been everything. Now it was balance. Elsewhere on the plains, the lioness returned to her pride. No one asked where she had been. No one questioned her choices. The wild does not reward explanations. It rewards survival. And yet something had changed. She moved with a quieter confidence now, while less urgency, a more patience. She had learned that strength was not always measured by what you take, but by what you choose not to. Their lives no longer crossed. They were not meant to. But the moment they shared remained. Invisible, unspoken, unaltered by time. In the wild, mercy is rare, not because it is weak, but because it costs something. The lioness gained nothing from her choice. No food, no territory, no safety. What she gave was time, and time is the one thing the wild never offers freely. The cheetah lived because someone stood still when the world expected movement, because someone chose to guard instead of turning away, because fate, for once, took the shape of patience. And perhaps that is the quiet truth hidden in this story, that even in places ruled by instinct, there is room for choice. Even in a world that demands speed, stillness can save a life. If this story stayed with you, it is because you recognize something in it, not the animals, but the moment when everything could have ended and didn't. If you wish to hear more quiet stories of unlikely mercy, unexpected bonds, and the moments that change lives without making noise, you are welcome here. Because even in the wild, kindness leaves a mark. If this story stayed with you, if it made you pause, even for a moment, please like the video. It helps these quiet stories reach others who need them. Share it with someone who understands that kindness doesn't always make noise. And if you want more stories of mercy, fate, and unexpected bonds in the wild, subscribe to the Untold Fates channel. Because even in the wild, kindness is worth remembering.